because we have to make sure that it's the right story to tell.
Absolutely.
It's so funny that everyone's interested in the next.
Always.
So I guess we did a good job in like hooking people in.
When Poe meets Zhen, this fox that is like a ninja, the stealth moves are impossible. It's clear that he's finally met his match.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know how everything Oogway said in Kung Fu Panda 1 had purpose? He didn't say random stuff or spew proverbs for no reason. They were pretty integral to the story and messages the film was trying to communicate. But the proverb that fit the best in Kung Fu Panda 4, according to the director, wasn't the one related to the film's big theme.
And that's our big theme, right? Moving on, you don't lose who you were, you become something more than you already are.
It was the one where Zhen tells Poe to look for small footprints.
Every step leaves a footprint, no matter how small.
Every step leaves a footprint, no matter how small.
That was a big one. We had about 8,000 proverbs, but really that one fit the best because of footprints, right?
Yeah.
Foot is small, so look for small footprints. This is the one you were happy fit the best. Yep, I wouldn't expect any better from the director of Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. And also, how are there footprints there anyway? It's snowing. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, remember how the big payoff in Kung Fu Panda 2 was Poe finding inner peace? Yeah, we do a joke where Poe is unable to concentrate on doing inner peace meditation.
Inner peace. This is not working at all.
Because we had a joke to tell. Ha 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 ha. No, it's even worse than that. According to Kung Fu Panda 4 producer Rebecca Huntley, I think the thing with seeing Poe meditate in the beginning, it's the perfect setup that he can't focus. He is the dragon warrior. He loves his adventure, and it sets him up for going off on yet another adventure. Hopefully, by the end of it, maybe he does find inner peace. You'll have to watch the movie to find out. He already did that in the second movie. What do you mean?
Oh, okay, good. We have to stay true to the spirit and the facts of the movies.
I wonder if this is the same producer that didn't want time added to the film to expand on Zhen and the Chameleon's backstories. I mean, she is one of the two producers who's never worked on a Kung Fu Panda film before. I'm on to you, Huntley. It was important to us because it will be 8 years since the last movie came out, and why it can take a while to make a part 4 is we had to make sure we nailed the story. We needed to live up to the expectation. I mean, the prior 3 have done incredibly well, billions of dollars. Gotta love that the first thing that comes to mind in a producer's head when talking about people's love for a franchise is how many billions of dollars it made for you.
I guess we did a good job in like hooking people in.
And there is a lot of discussion and debate that goes into it, and like we really consider the fans.
I mean, when you have a scene of Poe being taught a lesson on changing for the better, explicitly...
Change doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Because if things stay the same forever, sooner or later, they would lose their flavor.
And then in the very next scene, you have the chameleon telling Zhen not to change. Again, explicitly.
And the day you stop being those things is the day when, yes, you stop being useful to me. So for both of our sakes, don't change.
You're probably not very good at this whole write themes in your movies thing. Or you've just lost your ability to be a good writer, considering this exact theme was already handled way better in Kung Fu Panda 1. Poe was insecure about who he was throughout the film, going so far as to say he hated every day of his life just being himself.
I stayed because I thought if anyone could change me, could make me not me. It was you.
The solution to this was embracing who he was, rather than trying to be something he's not, which is reflected in his eventual kung fu style and how Shifu trained him. He changed for the better without abandoning what made him him. So when this aspect is only sort of referenced in one line by Shifu,
no one is taking anything away, Po. Who you are will always be a part of what you become.
And the depth of the discussion surrounding the theme for the rest of the film is limited to, hey Po, give up the thing that gives you the most purpose in life because of this character you barely have a relationship with. And hey Jin, change from being a bad guy to a person who does the right thing. It's a frustratingly poorly handled execution of a point.
It's now speaking to, I think, the adults that kind of watched it, and you know, they're moving on and stuff like change and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's great. Okay. So we kind of really lost steam in this one after the first. Yeah. Once we started being too sincere, we kind of lost. Yeah.
I don't want to seem ungrateful, but I don't know anything about passing on wisdom or inspiring hope.
Yeah, Po, famous for not inspiring hope as the Dragon Warrior.
Po is hilarious, appetizing, awe-inspiring.
I don't know anything about inspiring hope.
You betrayed me for the panda!
How could you, after all those brilliantly crafted lines about the rules of the street?
Third rule of the streets, some would say it's the most important. No one is interested in your feelings.
Memes aside, the reason their relationship sucks is because it's so shallow in substance, like the scene where the chameleon tells Zhen not to change who she is. This would have been the perfect opportunity to flesh out each character's motivations and confront each other over it. But instead, we just have the chameleon say, I used you because you were unsentimental. Why do you have feelings now? And that's as far as the subtext goes, which is a shame because it's not hard to construct a better scene that plays into the film's themes and the characters' histories. For instance, because of the Kung Fu Master's rejecting the chameleon, she's been building up a resentment towards them over the years. She takes this out on Zhen, always undermining her because she's a reminder of what the chameleon could have had, what her potential could have been. She has to be the best at Kung Fu to stick it to the people who didn't believe in her. Other people succeeding more than her would undermine that goal. She's a crab in a bucket pulling other crabs down. As such, Shen's ability with Kung Fu is amateurish, something that Po picks up on in their fight at the Jade Palace. In their downtime, he tries ironing out her kinks and teaching her better ways to fight. Shen starts noticing the contrast between how Po trains her versus the chameleon. Whilst the chameleon places limits on her, Po opens them up and gives her room to grow. He is more generous, open, and decent, being kind enough to get to know her, show a genuine interest in her upbringing, and bond with her over something she cares about. She realizes the chameleon isn't being driven by a desire to be great at Kung Fu, she's driven by a toxic, narcissistic vendetta, while Po just does what he does because that's just who he is. She switches sides because she realizes that she has more chances to become the person she wants to be with someone who actually cares about her. Her fighting and beating the chameleon would be a resolution to finally putting the negatives of her past behind her, the first steps to a better, brighter future. But we didn't get any of that in the film. Po did not take an interest in Zhen as a person. He made 2 offhanded comments about her backstory, and never took the time to find out what she cared about because we were too busy having fun with chases, being amazed at a big city, and telling jokes. As such, Shen rethinking what the chameleon is doing is not properly earned, which cheapens her turning on the chameleon because the evidence to support her doing so is weak. In addition, her not making or bringing up the connection of what's really driving the chameleon removes any complexity to their relationship, as well as hindering our sympathy towards the chameleon's struggles, something that was key in elevating the depth of character of Shen, Tai Lung, and hell, even Kai.
What I ever did
I did, to make you proud! Tell me how proud you are, Shifu!
My parents hated me. They wronged me. I will make it right.
I will not let you destroy Hu Kui's memory.
Why not? He destroyed mine.
Meanwhile,
Jin, I took you in because you were clever and ruthless and unsentimental, like me.
And so for this one, we're like, man, we better kill it with this villain and make sure that she is more formidable than the previous three. I feel that we did it, and a part of that was bringing Tai Lung back just to prove that we knew what we're doing.
It's also hard to buy this is much of an abusive relationship like Mike thinks it is when neither character really seems emotionally invested in the other. Zhen becomes morally outraged at what the chameleon is doing, but never gives a hint that she is personally invested in her well-being. Not even a, don't hurt her, Po, she's still a good person deep down, I know it. There's none of that. And the chameleon literally says, yeah, you're kind of disposable to me. I don't really care about you at all outside of how I can use you.
And the day you stop being those things is the day when, yes, you stop being useful to me.
Where's the motherly figure supposed to be, Mike? In summary, these two's conflict is underdeveloped, with only a few quick, minor, and short references to set it up despite the healthy amount of runtime that was available, which ultimately undercuts any emotional investment in their fight at the end.
Kung Fu Panda 4. I was thrilled, and by God, I think it's my favorite one.
Lee, would you please show a little backbone?
I'm sorry, but bravery was never really my specialty.
We had a sort of living encyclopedia with us at all times, being like, no, this is actually how it happened in the previous movies.
Bravery was never really my specialty.
Take our son and run away!
Oh, okay, good. We have to stay true to the spirit and the facts of the movies.
What's another part of her identity? Does she have an innate passion for kung fu? Well, no. If she did, I don't know why, as a writer, you would waste the golden opportunity to have her making comments about the artifacts in the Jade Palace. Why not have her try and steal one of the less important ones? And Po, being the kung fu geek that he is, ask her why she didn't try stealing the higher value items, which gives him the opportunity to showcase his knowledge of kung fu, maybe even have a back and forth with Shen over it, and then make the whole action scene around them fighting over some particular object. Or have Shen pretend to be a concerned civilian of Juniper City, come to recruit Po to take down the villainous chameleon, which avoids her having to spend any time in a jail cell, time she cannot afford to waste because of the impending blood moon that the chameleon requires to enact her evil plans. Seriously, if they arrived even a day later, the entire third act wouldn't happen. And you could begin her introduction with her showing a genuine interest in the artifacts like Po did in the first film. Either way, we're setting the groundwork for a potential friendship and sowing the seeds for Zhen becoming the next Dragon Warrior. Or we could do none of this and just have an action scene, lots of visual gaggery, and make some cheap references. I'm 6 minutes in and this guy's just whining about the sky's colour. I expected this critique to focus on the plot, characters, action, humour, voice acting, things that actually matter. I could spend less time watching the movie for myself. Yep, certainly didn't cover any of those. I just talked about the colours all day. Speaking of which... For instance, these silly paint stripe effects that get paired with slow-mos that just distract and take you out of the scene.
We started to call it that paint swipe. We call it it's on paint stripe because it would swipe when the fight was getting serious.
Yeah, don't allow the audience to feel the serious moments of a fight. Explicitly spell it out for us instead. It sort of gives you an indication in how things have changed when it comes to making Kung Fu Panda films. That things were done because wow, cool, wow, pretty, wow, it was funny.
It just looked cool.
Yeah, these clothes are gorgeous.
And then we can go back to having fun right after this.
Really cool. So keep drawing on the paper. Keep killing trees.
In essence, the use of color is telling us that hard power does not represent Po.
I don't think hard style is your thing.
Yet the color that represents it is the dominant color of Po's cloak in Kung Fu Panda 4.
How did we do it? Hard work, attention to detail.
And in the final battle, when they do a split screen of the chameleon and Po, they again use red to represent Po's side. Kung Fu Panda 2 had a split screen, but it managed to accurately represent the colors of each character, and all you had to do was just listen to the director's commentary tracks of Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2.
It always seemed like a great idea to try to somehow really have the themes oppose each other, and in the first one, Tai Lung was kind of bringing cool blue and Po's always going towards gold, but I don't think we ever had them clash the way we build and set them up to clash in this movie. So
we had a sort of living encyclopedia with us at all times.
But guess what else has a red color scheme in Kung Fu Panda 4? The chameleon's evil lair. And although a tad fallacious, I can't help but laugh at the irony that the thing that did have the most Po hero color in this film was the villains and the portal they all came from. What was so hard about copying the cloak Po had at the end of Kung Fu Panda 3? Or the one in Po's dream from Kung Fu Panda 1? Or the one that was in the concept art for Kung Fu Panda 1? Wait, let me guess. Marketing wanted it to be red, and Mike didn't care, or thought it was important, or even knew about this aspect about Po's character. But sure, Mike, keep calling this film
the love letter to the first Kung Fu Panda.
It was always Mike's mandate, which I loved, which was he didn't want to use stuff that we came up with in the previous films or any even other DreamWorks films, like if we were to do like things on twos or stylize things in a way that didn't feel unique to Kung Fu Panda 4. And that's where the paint stroke came out of, right? And a lot of those things were because Mike wanted to really push for something unique.
Everyone who's working on this movie is so passionate and dedicated to the Kung Fu Panda franchise.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
I'll be back soon. Tell my dads I love him. I can't hear you anymore. Bye!
It's annoying because I've never really taken Po's lovable personality as the type to not say goodbye to his parents, but it also makes this line from Mr. Ping much later in the film really, really stupid.
We should never have let him come here. We are such a terrible father.
You never let him go anywhere. He left immediately after Zhen said that she could help him track the chameleon. He didn't even say goodbye. Nothing about this line makes any sense, unless you have dementia.
Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. Yeah, a lot of thought went into it before we started making this movie.
Po is just too calm, gentle, and chill to face a shape-shifting sorceress.
He literally killed himself to fight an immortal warrior. What do you mean he can't handle a shape-shifting sorceress? She's a peach pit who has the promise of growing into a mighty tree.
Every pit holds the promise of a mighty tree.
In essence, he picks her for the sole reason that she has potential.
Be the pit, Zhen. Be the pit.
To get the easy one out of the way first, Po's reasoning has nothing to do with him seeing someone who is the future of Kung Fu or embodies its past at all, which if he really is meant to be Oogway's true successor, he would have seen.
He's supposed to be in the spirit realm. Supposed to be in the spirit,
Really, the only thing that could stop him is physical incapability, like if he were too old. You know, that actually makes the whole need to find a successor thing a lot less arbitrary. There's plenty of opportunity for him to rediscover himself there, and relearn the lesson of
who you are will always be a part of what you become.
It's such a simple thing to do, lends naturally to the ideas Kung Fu Panda 4 wants to communicate. What possibly stopped them from writing something like this?
Writing, in fact, they were unsure about this idea of passing on the Dragon Warrior. The studio was very concerned. Do you remember this, Stephanie?
Barely.
And so our writer, as proof of concept, wrote this scene, which is a very dangerous thing to do, and let the studio read it. And they're like, oh, we get it now. Great. because it really lays it all out.
Ah, because if you made him old, then the studio wouldn't be able to make any more money on more movies because he can't be the Kung Fu Panda anymore. I see. We only had to undermine the foundations of Poe's entire journey in order to do that. You know, it's really difficult to pinpoint the priorities with making this film, isn't it?
You can't take out one block without everything else crumbling, right?
Which it did a few times. It crumbled a few times.
We tried.
Like a Jenga, like a bad Lego.
This film is supposed to set up Poe's replacement to be the Dragon Warrior. Zheng! Sorry, Shen. No, Zhen. How about another random comment Poe would never say?
A wise old tortoise once told me that you never know what you can do until you do it.
No, he told you to stop comparing yourself to others and being driven by their desires. That you should worry about what's happening right now and giving you a congratulatory speech. Where the hell is this rubbish coming from?
What a great place for Poe to be where, as you said, like he's comfortable where he is, but it's time to move on. Like even Oogway said something about change in the first film that really inspired us. And we're like, oh, maybe we could evolve this theme and this lesson. So we got really excited when we landed on that idea.
Something that happened in the first 3 movies, and we'd be like, dang it, we have to fact check ourselves.
There's also the final battle with the chameleon, and it's just like the whole thing is who cares? The way they try and invest you into the fight is by saying, oh, the chameleon's stolen all the Kung Fu villain's powers.
My combined powers of sorcery and Kung Fu make me unstoppable.
And that her and Poe are not so different.
A final face-off between formidable adversaries, alike in so many ways.
Except she's evil. These aren't strong reasons to be invested in this fight. Compare this to Tai Lung, who was given 3 separate action scenes that built up his intimidation factor via the strength of the opponents he defeated, his skills in Kung Fu, and his tactical intelligence. The final fight with Poe feels like a final fight. You're invested in it, because we've slowly built up the threat of Tai Lung over the course of the movie. The way we built up the threat of the chameleon was that she intimidated some random people we didn't know, and she cheated in beating the ones we did. Oh, she's also a shapeshifter. That makes her so dangerous. But it goes beyond that because there's just more foundation in the Tai Lung fight. The surface level is that Poe has to get Tai Lung away from Shifu and protect the scroll, while Tai Lung is single-mindedly focused on getting the scroll, to attain what he's always sought after. It's really a fight over who gets to be the Dragon Warrior, as well as paying off all of Poe's development in the movie. That's why everything in the first half of the fight is a reference to something earlier in the film, and why the second half takes place outside of Mr. Ping's shop. We come full circle, so to speak. The fight with the chameleon is just, you're the villain, I'm the hero, I have to beat you now. The levels of interest and engagement in these scenes is not comparable. I certainly know which villain I'm more invested in Poe taking on in a fight, even though Tai Lung is technically less powerful than the chameleon. It's not the power level that makes the fight, it's the story behind it. And the I'm you but evil, come fight me shtick being relied on as a gimmick is super lame. But I guess that's to be expected from a guy that said Tai Lung was his favorite villain, and the only reason he listed was that he loved the humor you could get from him being terrifying. What the fuck? This is the guy that got to direct a Kung Fu Panda movie. I think it ended up being kind of a love letter to the first Kung Fu Panda, which is our favorite. I feel that we did everything we possibly could to remind you of the first and bring something new. You sure did a whole lot of reminding and not a whole lot of understanding.
You're adorable. Anyone ever told you that? And I don't mean just in the cuddly sense.
Your voice acting is so realistic. Did you go to Juilliard or something?